Hello, hello, and good evening, everybody. All these cool people in the chat. Hello to my co-commentator, to Mr. Fred Coughlin. I don't know how I managed to talk you into doing commentary, but hello.
I think it was just your suave demeanor, the very awesomeness of all the knowledge you bring. I want to learn, and you have so much knowledge about this game. It's gonna be so awesome to see to get to spend some time chatting with you, because I've known you for years, and I don't think we've ever done commentary together somehow.
That part is true, but the first part is lies and deceit.
50-50. But this is going to be a great match here. We got High Spirits and wildham, I think 6 and 11 seeds, so it's going to be a really close one, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun tonight.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting. I know Spirits was practicing earlier today, but I don't know how much Wildham has been practicing. But considering that he made this randomizer, I think he knows what he's doing regardless.
Yeah, the gut feeling there about that. That seems like that's a good thing there. And Wildham's got the cane sprite, so I love that. I'm biased, but
Well, it looks like we're starting off with an axe for our weapon. So our starting weapon in this randomizer is randomized. There is no progressive armor or weapons on, so we could quite literally find the Excalibur in the next chest. Who knows?
yeah.
Well, it was a sword, but it was not the Excalibur.
Close enough, but they were able to get all their stuff anyway. They've got good opening layout there. This is gonna be a interesting one. Wow, and there's even a what is with all this stuff? This is a lot of stuff in the opening chest. I was actually trying to do some math earlier to say, oh, you know, what kind of stuff do you expect to see in the first few chests? But there's a lot of chests we're getting here so early.
Yeah, so the chests are all randomized, meaning that red chests can be in brown chest spots and vice versa. You can still get items from NPCs, from the 3 shop folks, and from battlefields. However, the battlefields and the NPC items are all going to be prioritized, which means you have the best chance of getting an item that you need for go mode from one of those 2 places.
It's interesting. You always see a difference here. You've got Wildham saying, I'm going to go in and check these chests, and all the side chests have stuff, and High Spirit saying, I want a level. And this was just a one. I think this was just a one rounder for the clean out. Yeah, so that was like, hey, that was a good one to go grab quickly.
Yeah, for the experience battlefields, which you can see here in that grayish color, the amount of battles have been randomized as well between 1 and 5. So if you have a lower amount, having that extra XP, especially with how mean some of these seeds have been, is not the worst idea.
Yeah, and I think I saw High Spirits get 1200 as the bonus off that one that he did with the one fight on it. So now he's going into the 4 fight here, but that I think that's a ton of experience. That's going to be like basically every single fight from here on out getting extra levels.
Yeah. So, per typical Mystic Quest, if you've played vanilla, you do essentially, for the most part, need coins to go from one area to the next. So the sand coin to go into Aquaria, the river coin to go into Fireberg, and the sun coin to go into Windia. However, there are abilities to do teleportation using the crest, so you can use the Gemini crest to transport between between Aquaria and Fireberg, and you can use the Mobius crest with the multi-key to go between Fireberg and Windia. So the coins are not always 100% necessary.
Yeah, you definitely can skip them. I think in this tournament's official settings, it is logical, like, you know, quote unquote logic, that you don't need the crests for the teleportation. The coins will unlock the areas, but you know, this is like any of these randomizers. These runners are always willing to break logic to get done what they need to do.
Yeah. So, Fred, why don't you tell us about the go items that we absolutely need?
Well, by the end of the seed, you know, we have to beat all 4 dungeons in order to be able to get to the final dungeon, be able to attack the Dark King there. So if they want to be able to go through and do that, they're going to have to do. They need to get a sword. Any sword will do. So they're already covered there. They need to get an axe. They started with that. They're already covered there. The claw, even though we've seen all the other claws, they need to get the dragon claw in order to be able to, get through Pazuzu's tower. They need to get the mega bomb in order to be able to get the ship out. And then you need all the stuff to be able to get to the ship. So you need the Mobius crest, you need the captain's hat, and you need the thunder rock to power the trebuchet. That will get everyone, to be able to cross that rainbow bridge over there. Speaking of rocks to get to trebuchets, Wildham just picked that up. I think I hit them all. Obviously, you have to get to all the areas, too, with appropriate coins or crests, but I think that's it.
I will say, there is a really nice feature that Wildham built into this randomizer not too long ago, but you can see when our intrepid runners pick up an item, it does stay in a little box on the right-hand side for a little bit, and it makes it a lot easier to kind of remember what you've gotten, and for us wonderful trackers, which Fred is doing for me here, to track.
Oh yeah, it is a great little side thing there because, when you're going through this game, one of the things you are doing oftentimes is I'm going to mash that button as fast as I can to go as quickly as possible. And all of a sudden, okay, great, I mashed a whole bunch and I just missed what I picked up and having to start my inventory. Wait, what did I get again? Especially having to look possibly at spells and then items and then at your armor to try to figure out what you got. So.
Oh, definitely. Oh, what's for sale in the mask? So the mask is not 100% necessary, but it is kind of nice to have. So the mask allows you to see the monsters in the volcano, as well as on Captain Mac's ship. Although that might have been modified. I'm not 100% sure, because I think I always end up having the mask at that point. But in the vanilla...
Did you actually need that to see it on the ship? Really?
Technically, in the vanilla, you did, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I never even knew that.
Because usually you're picking up everything, right? Or if you're doing any percent, you glitch it into your inventory anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I completely forget about that. It's like one of those things like you're like, okay, yeah, I don't even bother thinking about it. And
yeah,
wow.
it's an unusual one. And likewise, if they happen to pick up the mirror, they will also be able to see the monsters in the ice pyramid.
Yeah, I knew about the mirror, but I never knew about the, as I said, that secondary feature on the mask there. But that's actually really cool.
Yeah, I think it was Almagus that told me that, because I was like, I can always see the monsters on the ship. What do you mean they can be invisible?
Well, you're talking to Almagus here. Almagus being, one of the best vanilla runners of this game, like, ever.
It's true.
Can go and do all this stuff there.
So if you notice, a couple of these battlefields are different colors than we're used to. So we have the traditional kind of greenish ones. Those will always have gold, of course, randomized based on location. The gray ones have experience, which we talked about in the first area, and then the blue ones are going to be the ones that have our items.
So you'll often see the runners, and sometimes you'll even see the runners debate. Do I actually check the blue? And the blues are really hard because it's a tough debate there. Do you say I'm going to go in and do, some of those blue ones, but it's 5 fights? Do I really want to do a 5-fight blue battlefield to possibly get, the blizzard spell or something? And so that's always a tough debate.
I'd say if you're still relatively early on and you have Phoebe, it's not a terrible idea to have the extra XP and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, completely agreed. I'd rather do that if I can. Just having that experience just helps you out so much later in the seed.
It does. So, Spirits picking up the meteor spell, Wildham picking up the captain's cap, which is one of our mandatory items to get the ship to go to Doom Tower, Doom Castle. I never remember which it is because who's got time to pay attention to that when you're trying to speedrun randomizers?
Yeah, you're playing Focus Tower, I feel like the Doom Castle. Yeah, it all works, so it'll be interesting here. This actually is interesting to see where Wildham's going to go here because, Wildham can't actually beat this ice tower as far as I can tell right now.
No, without bombs, our folks are a little bit stuck.
Yeah, but that's actually a great spell. High Spirits just got white. Using the Gemini crest and skipping ahead.
Yeah, so white is one of those kind of nice things to have. A nice Dragon Claw pickup that's almost the French vanilla kind of pickup there.
I forgot about that. That's where issue you get, but it's been so long since I have played the vanilla. I gotta get back to this game at some point.
No,
I
you
really
don't.
do.
Don't
No,
do
I
that
don't.
to
Okay.
yourself.
All right, I'll try not to.
So, with this particular, the way that the flags are set, talked about the idea that, you know, you have to have the sun coin from defeating all of the bosses. But there are things that are nice to have because the Dark King has had the cure magic glitched fixed, essentially. So the nice things to have in this seed are, of course, all of the top tier armor, especially the Aegis shield and the Cupid locket, because that'll protect against most of the status effects that the Dark King will be able to punch out. And we also want to have things like the Flare spell, Life spell, Cure spell. Having those are nice for the Dark King fight, and having the Exit spell in particular will be really, really nice as our runners go through dungeons because it will allow them quick escape without having to come all the way out. And some of these dungeons are really lengthy to come out of.
Yeah, I mean it's nice, you know, when you're having the mirror there, but just if you go through the ice pyramid there, and then you have to walk out without a pyramid, and you have to remember where were those encounters that I decided not to fight so I don't run into them again. Oh gosh, that is painful.
Yeah, that's not a fun trip back out for sure.
And the exit spell has so many utilities. I hadn't realized that it worked on the overworld until a couple of matches ago when I was watching, I think, HeavenX play, and used it to warp back to the beginning forest area. Saved a ton of time. Ooh, that's a sun coin.
Ooh. So you can see that pretty much all of our partners have been in their usual spots to pick up and at their original when you get them first in the game. So like BB1, Ruben 1, Tristram 1. And Tristram 2 is in his usual spot in the cafe. Usually he'd join you on the rope bridge in vanilla, but all you have to do is go back and talk to him in Fireberg and he'll join your party again. To get our level 2 characters, with the exception of Kaylee, we do need to get their items from them, essentially. So when Phoebe gives you the vanilla claw in the Wintry Cave, after she's done that, you can get Phoebe 2 in Windia in her usual spot. When you do Ruben's item in the mines, then you can get Ruben 2, but in his house. He's not going to just randomly show up. And then with Kaylee, you need to have the tree wither to get her at all. And then you also need to have the elixir to get Kaylee too.
There's so many different, like, little potential fetch quest things there. They're fun to do, although they're painful, like, especially when you get the tree wither and you're like, okay, I'm going to wait for that elixir. I'm going to wait for that elixir so that I can do them all at once. And then the elixir's on Kaylee. That's never fun.
Especially when Kaylee has like your go mode item or something.
Oh yeah.
And the usual ways to traverse the dungeons are, of course, in play. So you do need the Dragon Claw to traverse through the tree or through Mount Gale or to get through Pazuzu's tower. You do need bombs to get through the Bone Dungeon, things like that. So none of that has been changed. And in fact, there is only one glitch that has been left in the game, and that is the item duplication glitch. So if you happen to get lucky enough to find seeds at the beginning in a brown box, you can still duplicate those.
Yeah, it's really nice when that works because you, again, something I had never really known about, but I knew about it from speedrunning of vanilla, but I hadn't realized that that was a thing that was in the vanilla, that was in the randomizer as well.
So Spirit's picking up our best partner, which is Phoebe 2. So Phoebe 2 does have pretty much the best spells. She has some of the best stats. Unfortunately, she's missing one of the most important resistances, which is Petrify. Oh, life and exit both in Windia. That's kind of
Ooh,
nice.
that's a good combo. I mean, you need those items there, but
Not
yeah, so
sure what happened to Wildham.
it's looking like a fast forward, somehow Turbo or Fast Forward may have gotten hit on the emulator, so
Oh,
I'm guessing this is still the demo play, so
oh heck. Poor Wildham must be having some tech issues then.
yeah, highspirits getting the good armor out of the forest, at least here. The middle armor was the noble armor, I believe, so.
That's kind of nice because it'll give him a little bit of water resistance if he, I should say, when he has to go back to the pyramid. Although hopefully he'll get to go back with Flare, and Ice Golem will just go down in 2 shots.
Yeah, that would be absolutely. It's just so fun to take out the ice golem that way. I mean, there are other ways to do it, but there's just so much more fun to take out the ice golem with that.
It's a nice vengeance for those of us who have speedrun the game, to be quite honest.
That fight's scary when you're playing it regular.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so the general idea, since I'm seeing a question about item duping there in chat, I think Heppings is doing a great job of explaining it. But basically, the game, if you use a seed, as your turn, but then when you're on your partner's turn, you back out and say, "Oh, let me run from the battle," the game gives you back the seed, but you never actually used it. So you end up with one more seed than you had entering the battle. And I think when you fail to run, it might actually also still work again, because I feel like I've had one fight where I had to run 3 times from, and all of a sudden I had a whole bunch more seeds than I thought I was going to have, so it definitely seems like interesting.
It might. Yeah, he's saying as long as Ben fails to take action, yeah, the coding is very interesting in the vanilla version of this game, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
So interesting that High Spirits is checking Snow Crab when he does have the means to go through the pyramid. The waterfall here technically only has 2 item checks, and for these particular flag sets, the chance of one of the mini bosses, like the crab here, having an item is fairly minimal.
Yeah, it could be. I'm trying to figure out if there's like again, maybe looking for that flare, maybe just saying, I've got the power to knock this out and want to not leave any stone unturned.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I mean, again, I probably lean towards what you're saying and make do the other one first, but the thing is, if you're trying to... Actually, I mean, I'm trying to think about things here. The main piece of progression that they're going to find somewhere along here at some point... Nice seeds, at least. What the nice thing, progression piece, I think that they'd probably find at some point along here would probably be, the river coin to get them up to, officially to be able to get over to Fireberg area.
Yeah, just a little bit easier. So Wildham did have some issues with what he's using to play the game. So it does look like he's got that fixed now, and he is back in it.
There we go. Perfect.
So Spirits is going to find the same captain's cap that Wildham found over here earlier, since Wildham did dip into the first floor of the pyramid, but then kind of backed right back out. So the way that the pyramid works is you kind of need every weapon in here except for the axe to get through it. It's a lot more involved than you would probably think for a second world area dungeon.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a good way to try to help demonstrate, hey, okay, now you have all these weapons. Actually use them all. So, using the sword to hit all the switches to open up the doors, having the claws a couple places to climb things, because you just got it from Phoebe. We have to make sure you know exactly how you use those. And, well, bombs, because they're bombs. Bombs are good.
Bombs are good. We know how Fred feels about bombs.
No comment.
Okay, thank you, Hubings. So, Wildham is going to have to make up for a little bit of time that was lost during that, unfortunately. But I have faith because these runners, they are really good.
Oh yeah, they are. I mean, they wouldn't be in the position that they are unless they did things here. And again, you got High Spirits here who knows this game, really well, can handle almost any RPG out there, has tons of knowledge and skill on that side. And then you got Wildham, who pretty much anything about this randomizer specifically, Wildham knows.
So one thing we did not mention earlier when Wildham dove in here is that there are tweaks to some of the dungeons, the pyramid included. So on that first floor, instead of having to go through this super wide maze, Wildham essentially took out a couple of blocks to make it easier to traverse around the first floor. This is also true in the tree where a bunch of the mushrooms have been taken out, so you're not sitting there swinging the axe for 5 years.
Yeah, I love that, and the fact that Wildham was kind enough to, I think, move a couple of the Dragon Claw posts just enough to make some of them a little bit easier, like the first floor.
Oh, yes.
Because having to go all the way around versus that one little claw, whereas otherwise everything was useless. It was definitely a very nice little touch.
Yeah, the second to last floor of the tree also makes it so that when you get to that middle level, you don't have to go all the way around and it's open.
Oh, that's nice. It's so nice.
Yeah, look at the quality of life is just great.
Yeah, things I would never have thought of. I've done some hacking stuff to be able to make some of the randomizers for the NES, but Super Nintendo is a completely different breed. I give Wildham so much credit for being able to not only go in and find these things, but able to do it so well.
I don't know how any of y'all do any of that stuff. I know like very bare minimum of front end stuff, and that's kind of it.
Hey, that's the important piece. That's the part that I tend to hate myself, so.
But yeah, at this point, both of our runners are going to make their way through the end of this pyramid and get rid of the ice golem. Unfortunately, no flare spell yet. Dang, I was really just hoping it would be there.
Hey, arrow's not bad for that. Wow, there's a lot of red chests in here tonight.
Yeah, when you're looking for an item in particular, there are definitely certain dungeons that are more loaded than others.
Oh yeah.
And Pyramid and Lava Dome are probably two of the biggest ones to go through for items.
Oh, absolutely. There's at least two more there on the fourth floor that we just saw High Spirits fall by, so.
Interesting choice on his behalf because he does have the exit spell.
Well, I mean, at the end, he'll just, it probably still actually saves a little bit of walking in the end, as I've been thinking about, because I've been trying to analyze, like, quickest ways to go through some of these dungeons, and once you beat the dungeon, it's, like, 5 steps to fall the extra 2 times. To then get in there versus having to relap. It's probably close. It really comes down to if it would help you kill Ice Golem, then you definitely want to check them out first. If you're probably going to have to make another loop like you had to do anyway here with that red chest, it's kind of hard. It can go either way.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, we have the giant axe in the chest on the left-hand side.
There's that river coin.
Yep, and then the river coin on the right. So it won't help with the ice golem fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, not that much.
Yeah, Spirits is going to have an easier time with this fight because he does have PB2. If he had Reuben 2, it would be a little bit easier because Reuben 2 does have the white spell, but unfortunately Reuben 1 only has the life spell.
Yeah, only the life and a lovely giant Mace of Doom.
Yes. The Mace of Doom is very helpful for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Finding some decent...
Oh my gosh, you can do that movement? Wow. That is... I never would have thought to do those jumps the way Wildham just did there. Okay, I am now learned lessons for the future here.
Yeah, technically Spirits could have jumped over from there. Almost everything, except for the treasure chest on the very, very far left of the room, can be accessed pretty easily, thankfully.
Oh yeah. That's good to know. I will have to keep this in mind for the future. Oh, okay, they have Giant's Axe now. There we go. Now, again, not a requirement because they started with an axe, and technically all they need to beat the game is an axe, but it definitely is an extremely nice backup to have that axe to, you know, do some extra damage to some of the enemies there if you need to do some physical combat.
Yeah, for sure. The Dragon Claw is nice because it does have some status effects, especially Stone Touch, which can one-shot a lot of enemies, but it does not always make contact.
Oh, is that the official reason that they died? Giving them Stone Touch?
Yep,
I
it is Petrify. I don't remember if it has Death Touch.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd never know. I just knew sometimes they just died out of the blue, and I was like, okay, that's great. I'm just gonna use it sometimes, but now I know the reason. See, I told you I'd learn cool stuff here with your awesome knowledge base.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think it had Death Touch, but yeah, the Petrify Touch is definitely a one-shot because there's just like with you, unless you have a heal spell, there's no recovering from that.
Yep, you're kind of in deep doo-doo if that happens.
Which, unfortunately, our runners will get to experience later when they get to some of the worst bosses of this game.
So let's see. So we've got Ruben. Wildham using some good defense here to make sure that Ruben would not be attacked there by the golem. Defense is such an underrated ability, I have found from playing this game here.
Defense is absolutely amazing. So for those of you who are unaware, the way defense works is you can choose to have you defend yourself or your partner, or you can choose your partner to do the same. If you choose to have Ben defend your partner, Ben will essentially take whatever attack comes. And if the attack happens to be AoE, he will take the hit, but not for the full amount as if he was just the only person alive, which is kind of nice because it doesn't double the damage as you would expect.
Oh, absolutely. It's great. Oh, no!
Oh, heck.
The one time that, you know, the Ice Golem decided to outspeed Ruben there was in that situation. Oh, that was painful.
Speed's a wonky thing in this game.
Yeah, it's ugly. But yeah, so that was highspirits just used that exit trick I was talking about. So now going back into the bone dungeon to go for some bonus action here.
Wow. I heard that.
And you chose to do this commentary tonight.
I did. I knew what I was getting into.
Did you really?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Fair enough. Yeah, so Wildham making progress here on attempt 2. Hopefully this is gonna, looks like already still making pretty good progress there, whereas highspirits, so far, everything in here has been zonks from the perspective of just regular brown chests.
Yeah, usually when the bombs are somewhere besides the first area, typically there is not a lot in the bone dungeon. The good thing is, though, is the checks in this dungeon are pretty much, like, right there. It's very easy to just go and do a quick check.
Yeah, there's nothing out of the way. You're 100% right about that when you're doing this. I mean, okay, fine. You have to technically do a couple extra room transitions to check, you know, where the Quake normally would be. Things like that. That's Quake, right? Please tell me I'm actually remembering my vanilla game.
Yes, you're good.
Yes, I'm remembering. Oh, man, 0 for 4? Oh.
Aside from the first floor, I'm pretty sure there was nothing in here.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. It was that first floor, and then, yeah, I think that was it. But if you blink there, you just missed the death of the Bone Dragon.
Yeah, Fred teaching me the other day that Phoebe 1 and Phoebe 2 can both life this dragon in one shot.
It's absolutely a great way to get a quick kill there. Phoebe's got high enough magic stat that it'll just wipe it out completely. And Wildham's through.
Next up will more than likely be Lava Dome, if I were to guess correctly. The only unfortunate thing is, without Mega Grenades, Spirits is going to not be able to check a couple of the chests, But at the level that he's at, it's better for him to go into Fireberg than it is for him to go into Pazuzu's Tower.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to be going into this here.
Yeah, especially without any wind resistance. That bird is mean. Picking up a stack of seeds. Always a good idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though Phoebe doesn't have the fire resistance, she definitely makes this area a lot faster to go through.
Oh yeah, oh look, super strong white spell, thing that, maybe Ruben was supposed to have for, the volcano part or something, not even that for in-game, I guess. And, oh yeah, we're just going to use that and pretty much wipe out almost everything. I think that there might be, like, once in a while, one enemy in the volcano might roll just enough hit points where if it's a three-way split, they don't die right away.
Yeah, that is pretty rare, though.
It is so much faster.
Although the vanilla does try to throw you a bit of a bone, and it does give you the white spell at the bottom of the volcano, usually. So... Ooh, multi-key is nice.
Oh yeah, that's gonna, especially with the fact that with as I say, with high spirits here having all the crests, and chat feels free to correct me if you do discover any errors that are here on the tracking, but with all the crests in play, that's a really quick path back to Windia.
Yeah, and he's pretty much cleared out the other two areas, and my guess is he'll probably go into Lava Dome first, and I don't blame him. It's a pretty treasure-rich location, especially with Phoebe in the party. Or not? Okay, so he's probably gonna go for Ruben and go for Ruben's item as well as Ruben's dad, which he can't do without the mega grenades, though.
I mean, it gets tough because you can go to the Lava Dome where there's a lot of random chests. It's kind of like a debate. Do you go for all those random chests just for density, or do you go for that one guaranteed key item that will really help push things along?
I mean, technically, by doing the mines here, spirits can just get Ruben too, which will have the white spell anyway, and he can go through the volcano that way.
Yeah, it's true. It's not going to cost that much time when it comes to the volcano side. Although at that point, with the fact that you've got multi-key and the crest, it's almost worth just going and grab Phoebe 2 for that extra magic, potentially.
Yeah, and Wildham making the dive into Spencer's Cave, which Spirits has not done yet, despite thawing the area. So we pick up a Gaia armor, and we pick up the second level bomb. Unfortunately, not the bombs that we're looking for. These are not the bombs we're looking for.
No, you can go about your business, move along. But I think at the time, the thing is, I think High Spirits just picked up the Venus key, so it was probably a case of, well, I don't want to go down there without the Venus key and have to double back. I think that was where this one ended up being, but yeah, as I said, this is going to be a interesting little bit here. Wildham having that Venus key right now can at least take these checks right away. Has now the Gaia armor, so totally set in terms of being able to, have that best armor in the game ready for some of those fights here.
Oh, and the tree wither inside of the back of the Focus Tower here. But unfortunately for Wildham, without that exit spell, this is so many lengthy walkouts. I feel so bad for him.
I know. I mean, you can't really avoid it in this situation, but yeah. I mean, I don't remember if he had saved. Like, the thing I normally do, if I'm going to walk down and I don't have exit, I'll I'll save at the top in Aquaria, run down, and if they're junk, I'll grab them when I do the Mega Grenade at the end. But it's such a long walk, and, Wildham definitely got stuff that, you're not turning down that armor there.
Oh, Moonhelm is nice. That'll give him fire resistance.
Yep, and there's your Excalibur as well. Again, not a required item. You just needed any sword, but you're never going to complain about having an Excalibur to swing.
Not only that, but the sword will give him a little bit of extra speed, just in case for some of the fights. Although, considering the levels that we go in, it doesn't make enough of a difference, unfortunately.
Well, it doesn't make a difference usually on, like, Dark King, but there's some of those other fights where just that little extra speed can, as you said, can make that difference, and Benjamin can sometimes get get the attack in just a little bit earlier.
Oh, interesting. He pointed out something that I was unaware of, which is that the 2 Venus key chests are both coded as NPC items.
Ah, that's interesting. Makes sense.
Hmm. Every wizard spell except for Flare. Poor spirits.
That's always so painful when you get that. When it's like, yep, I could easily, okay, I've got all the cool magic. No, I don't. No
So
fire.
it did look like he went back for Phoebe before heading into the lava dome.
I think as this, Phoebe has that higher magic. Again, I'm not sure if it's just from the levels or if it's a higher base magic stat or both. But Phoebe having that extra damage on white just makes the lava dome so much safer in terms of killing almost everything.
Yeah. Like I said, unfortunately, without the mega grenades, so that chest over there doesn't matter because it is not a red chest. And then there is one other location that he will be able to kind of just take a look at from afar and see if he needs to go back for anything or not.
The nice thing is you'll at least be able, high spirits will at least be able to, just from the path to go to the, to finish out the dungeon, could peek the other 2 chests and can at least see whether or not the mega grenade might be required here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely nice knowledge.
Yeah, the seed that Heavings and I raced when we did the run for RPG Limit Break, I saw that one chest over there. Is like I knew Wildham rolled the seed, and Wildham is just trolly enough to have there be a key item there. Speaking of amazing items, Cupid Locket.
Oh, that is beautiful. As I say, I know that at the very least that handles the confusion. Is that one confusion? Is that one of the 2 that one hits?
Yeah, the silver webs. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. You have that, at least the silver webs from Dark King won't confuse Benjamin there, which is such a pain.
Yeah.
So easy to wipe on that fight when, okay, silver web comes along, confusion, up we cast white on our own party, and we're all dead.
I mean, you were right even before you said any of the rest of that. It's just a difficult fight, period.
Oh yeah, but it's especially like, oh yeah, surprise, you're dead. There's so many different ways you can die there.
Unfortunately, poor Wildham is only going to be rewarded with that ground chest for his efforts in here.
Yeah, a couple of levels. I feel like, especially with that little hiccup there, that Wildham could potentially be doing one of those. Well, now I'm going to check a couple of these one-off chests because I feel like, if there's something here, I get this if High Spirits didn't check it.
Yeah.
And then, hoping that that's a way to gain an edge.
Yeah. Another thing we kind of haven't really mentioned is the skills of our monsters here are minorly randomized between each other, as well as our bosses. Although I don't think the Dark King is randomized in this mess.
Yeah, Dark King is normal in this flag set. The other stuff is, as you said, minorly randomized, which can lead to some stuff. One seed where I kind of had to just throw my hands up and stop because I realized, and speaking of High Spirit sees that there is a chest behind the mega grenade there, so that'll be fun.
Well, the thing is, though, is since the mega grenades is pretty much the only thing he needs for go mode, the only terrible thing that could be in there would be the Aegis shield.
That's true. So hopefully it won't be hopefully it won't be there. But yeah, so I had one time where I was playing against our friend Pazuzu, and Pazuzu started to multiply. That can happen on this flag set. It's rare apparently, but it can happen. I think after about 4 tries, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play a new seed right now. If that ever come up in a tournament, I think my opponent gets the free win by default.
Honestly, if that ever came up in a tournament, I think that would be a free reroll for everybody.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. If someone manages to get through the RNG on that and survive, yeah, you pretty much have earned yourself a free win.
Yeah, with the flag sets that we had last year for the tourney, there was one qualifier seed where we ended up having to go to Windia with the Dragonclaw and Tristram, and most of us did not know that Dullahan can be paralyzed by Tristram's ninja stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Taking
if
that
you've-
note down for the future.
Yeah, if you've ever seen anybody in the any percent run do the heal spell on Dullahan, they're basically trying to inflict paralyze on him.
Yeah, and I knew something like that because I've done that occasionally in the run. I knew it hits a random status effect on him, but hadn't
Yeah.
realized that exact nature.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's one of those things in the back of your head, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it looks like Wildham is going to go back for the Bone Dungeon more than likely, and since he does have the Tree Wither, he might also check Daily 1 just for the sake of it, since he's here anyway.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's definitely. I mean, it definitely would be a great play to do there. Get that check in, because again, that's one extra check while you're here. You hope you get something good out of it, and then when you go back, I'll have to see if Wildham does have. I don't think Wildham has Mobius yet. I could have missed that, but basically say, oh look, I'm going to go and quickly go get Phoebe back, and then be good to go there.
Yeah. So, Dualhead can definitely be a big jerk, especially because Phoebe does not have fire resistance like Ruben does. However, usually once you get the first head down, usually he doesn't cast fire anymore. At least it's that way in the vanilla. I don't know if it works that way in the randomizer.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. I think most of the times where I've fought, once it loses the head 1, I think you're right. I think it changes script.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, but I was, I'm like, well, it could just be the seed I'm on or something like that, but it's good to know it wasn't...
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing as you. As I said, I don't have definitive knowledge of that, but empirically, it sounds correct here.
Yeah, so all of our bosses are scaled between 100 and 150%, and it will be, honestly, individual by phase. So the first phase could have 150% health, and the second phase could have 100% health. So you might see some phases take a really long time for some bosses, and you might see some phases go really, really fast, like the second phase of Dualhead did there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yep, just right there. Yeah.
We completely skipped the last phase there.
And we
So
got
that
dual
is-
crystal saves. Nice.
Yeah, 3 crystals for spirits, 2 crystals for Wildham. But as Heaping said in chat earlier, Dark King is the great equalizer. I will also say, honestly, so is Pazuzu, depending on what he has or hasn't rolled.
Oh, yeah. Pazuzu usually has some form of petrification, among other things, and it just is bad.
Yeah, the petrification, man, it's the killer, because Phoebe has these amazing stats, but if she gets turned to stone, you're not on like the turn that Pazuzu is gonna do Psych Shield. Oh, it's rough.
You're in trouble. So interesting. High Spirits going through checking the whole volcano here to see if there are any chests up here. This is one of those ones that you could see someone skip, depending on how they're playing.
Yeah, a lot of people like to do a first floor dip. Ooh, 2
Wow.
chests. Steel Shield and Cure Spell. So Steel Shield is not the greatest armor considering we have Venus Shield. However, it does give the tiniest little bit of speed boost there. And Cure Spell is always nice as a backup.
Oh, absolutely. Again, and I don't. Oh, yeah. I think Life was Life in. I feel like Life was in down in Spencer, or am I misremembering? No, that was the wrong one. I don't know. I've forgotten, but we've seen Life at least.
If we have, yeah.
So, and once you have Life, it's kind of like, well, you don't really. You're like, okay, Life, that's great, but. Don't blink. The Minotaur. Oh, never mind. I thought the Minotaur was going to do something there.
Nah.
I thought he was going to finally get his day.
You were saying earlier? That is
Oh.
commentator's curse right there, folks.
Come on, commentator's curse is at least half an hour delayed, right? Shouldn't Kaylee be able to say, "Hey, I'm holding this. Let me just give me a second here. I'll drink this, and I'll save you the time to walk into town."
See, I knew something like this was going to happen if you were my commentary partner, Fred.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Considering the fact that Spirits has already done the Bone Dungeon, this could be really, really good for him, depending on what Kelly 2 has.
Yeah, because I mean, Spirits is going to go through pretty much all the way through Pazuzu's Tower pretty soon. I don't think you go back to the forest at this point, especially since it might be a double dip required of 2 separate trips from, what High Spirit knows right now.
Yeah, but at least he did come down to talk to Spencer, so he is going to get his Gaia armor.
Yeah.
And he's really only missing the Aegis shield at this point for petrification protection.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'd be surprised at this point if Spirits did not make his way to Pazuzu's Tower at this point. Because
I feel like you have to do that next.
Nobody wants to check the tree, and nobody wants to check the mountain. The mountain does not have a lot of checks.
That mountain is just ugh.
Yep, there he goes.
Yeah. Oh, you're leaving the poor little girl sitting there?
Poor Norma. Rip Norma, y'all.
Sorry, High Spirits, I'm switching my rooting allegiance right now. Until I see Wildham also skip her, in which case then I may have to switch back. I mean, I'm totally neutral as a commentator. Go Wildham.
So, Pazuzu's Tower has an unfortunate mechanic to it, where the bird is essentially on every floor until you speak to him. And as long as our runners speak to the bird on the same floor, the bird will end up on the same floor for both runners, which is nice, because bird RNG
Oh my gosh.
is a thing. Wow. Oh yeah, this is big for Wildham.
This is huge. I mean, this is, I think, for all intents and purposes, aside from, needing that helmet, the Apollo helmet there, that's go mode for Wildham here.
Yeah. He might check a couple of extra things for the sake of trying to find Flare and the Aegis shield, but
yeah, Flare's just that much stronger for, when you're doing all your stuff there. But it looks like High Spirit's gonna have to run through most of the tower anyway, so.
Yeah, so essentially, as you're going down, there are switches on the even-numbered floors, and you need to hit the switches that are around Pazuzu. It's best to just kind of hit them as you go down anyway, since you're there. But if the bird is on floor 6, it's always nice because it's just right there. You don't have to go down any further unless you're still looking for items, which unfortunately High Spirits is.
Yeah, Wildham actually, I think I may have to switch back to High Spirits on the rooting part. Wildham paused briefly there near Norma. Even looked like he was going to double back and then said, no, I'm going. I'm sorry, Wildham. The Allegiance, I think, may be going back here.
So, when the bird ends up on an even number floor like he is now, now that we've hit the switches for floor 4 and floor 6, the bird will teleport to an odd numbered floor, and the only way he can go is up to floor 5, which is a bit of a pain in the butt because you do have to either go down and back up or up and back down.
Yep, so you can see the bird there. Of course, the problem is the only way back is to go all the way back up to 7, or to go down a bit and then Dragon Claw your way around and back around, so.
Yeah.
High Spirit's running around through the backwards route through the tower. Wildham, of course, having to fight the Evil Beholders, one of the most annoying enemies in the game, for those who don't know, has a reflect status on it, and that reflect status is 100% damage back. So basically, if you cast a full spell on it, it will kill you. Oh, double kill there with a self-destruct too.
Oof.
They're weak to bombs, but the problem is that the bomb damage is still split 3 ways in this scenario. So, or now 2, hopefully. So.
I will say, though, despite the fact that Wildham is in go mode, this is a fairly low level for him to be in Pazuzu's tower, so he is going to struggle a bit with this fight.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even do he hasn't done Volcano yet, right? I'm trying to remember my order. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, he just decided to come in here. So you're right, this is going to be a little bit risky to do this here. It's not impossible to do. It's just definitely could be a interesting fight here. Although with the Gaia armor, at least, you know, all the wind attacks from Pazuzu will still get will still be resisted. If I'm remembering my order of things.
Yeah, but I believe a pile driver will definitely one-shot.
Yeah.
Thick.
You might be able to sit Phoebe at least on auto and then at least be able to get your spell off. But actually, it's interesting seeing how High Spirits here looks like he's going more for the let's have Benjamin do the healing and have Phoebe do the offense.
Well, Phoebe does do more damage than Ben does. At least without the flare spell.
Yeah. That was a good catch there. I saw High Spirits almost cast a spell onto Pazuzu there, and with the Sight Shield up, that would have been really bad. That would have been just like hitting a Beholder.
Yeah, the Psych Shield is essentially Pazuzu casting Reflect on himself for a couple of turns, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it's 5 turns for the first Psych Shield, and then after every 4th turn.
Yeah, basically it's on. As soon as he turns it on, I'll wait 1 turn, then I'll turn it off, and I'll still attack you at the same time because I feel like getting 2 actions. And then I'll wait 1 more turn, and then I'll turn it back on. And then I'll wait a turn, and I'll turn it off, and I'll wait a turn and turn it back on, and it continues doing it over and over. It just is a giant pain in the butt. Speaking of giant pains in the butt.
Yeah, we both latched onto that one. The Petrified Touch is not great because we do not have the Aegis Shield here. You know, it'll be interesting to see where Spirits goes next, because if he dives deeper into the tree, for instance, and he finds that Aegis Shield, that might give him quite a bit leg up over Wildham.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is just... Where Spirits goes next is going to be huge. I mean, it's tough because I haven't kept track of, like, what black magic is still in play. Because, you know, do you follow that tree wither? Because it's a guaranteed item? Or do you go into the tree, as you were saying, where there are a lot of chests, to be fair, way up high? Or, I guess High Spirits actually did full clear the volcano there, so... never mind.
Yeah, they both full cleared the Aquaria area as well.
Yeah.
Well, Spirits does know that there pretty much is no chance for the Mega Grenades to be in Fireberg. Because they can't be behind Ruben's dad, since Ruben's dad requires them to get him.
Right. So I wonder if that is actually the Aegis Shield there. Because we saw there was 1 red chest in the volcano behind Mega Grenade, and then there's the one at Ruben's dad. One of those 2 is probably
Well,
Aegis
we are
Shield.
still missing the flare spell as well.
Oh, flare. That's a good point, yeah. I think that's actually the only other spell. So there might be some of like the equipment, like the other low-level equipment maybe. But yeah, they might need to make a trip back up to Fireberg for either of those.
Which they might not want to do.
Yeah.
So, to answer the question in chat, as long as our runners talk to Pazuzu on the same floor at the start, they will be on the same floor.
Which actually could lead to some interesting metagaming if you think like, let's say you're going in and you want to try to get a slight advantage over your opponent, possibly talking to Pazuzu on floor 1 instead of on floor 3, just to try to get some different RNG. That could actually be an interesting thing if you think you know what your opponent's going to do.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of us who used to speedrun the game are very used to talking to Pazuzu on floor 3 because you got to walk right by him. You know, it's like talking to him on floor 7. He's literally right there.
Oh yeah. Well, I think High Spirits didn't get down to floor 2, so I think he's still gotta check a couple of things here to make sure that, or yeah, just to make sure that, okay, yep, making sure that all those brown boxes are brown boxes actually.
Yeah.
As Wildham here on level 15. Yeah, that is a little low for a Pazuzu fight.
It's gonna be a rough fight, unfortunately.
It's not impossible. I mean, especially since Phoebe's gonna be one of your primary damage dealers here. But
Oh yeah, for sure. And there are no red chests in this entire tower, which really has to be disappointing.
And this is that difference you were talking about. We got a Mount Gale play right now, checking for those checking for that Mega Grenade.
This is an interesting choice. I mean, Mount Gale at least is a fairly quick walkthrough, but there are only 3 chests in here. So there's one at the beginning, one pretty close to the end, and then there's the one that is behind Dullahan that used to be the Apollo Helm chest in the upper right-hand corner.
I mean, it's a walking time versus, you know, going all the way back to some of those other places that I can see why you would do this one, but this is definitely a, you know, this definitely is a potential time sink here that will give Wildham some time to catch up if he can get through. I see the bird is already starting to slump his shoulders a little, so making good progress over here. Oh, yep.
We're in our French birds phase.
Oui. And I have now given you the extent of the French that I have ever learned.
Same. And omelette, I guess omelette au fromage is the way it's supposed to be. I forget what the connecting word is supposed to be there. I know it's not do like it is in Dexter's lab. That I was told repeatedly.
That's a Dexter thing. Okay, now I'm starting to feel old again. Why do you do this to me?
Excuse me, aren't I older than you?
I don't think so. I think we've discussed this before, and I think I've got the age, but we're not going to discuss that right now. I will never make you state your age or anything like that here. So I don't.
I'm over 100. It's all good, Cat.
My kids keep asking me every single time that I things like, Dad, did you ride a dinosaur to school when you were growing up? You know, or they'll see something on the news like my oldest daughter who had been reading about, you know, the Spanish flu thing back in like 1918 was like, Dad, so what was it like growing up during the Spanish flu? Like, really? We're going there?
Your kids would be absolutely sassy enough for that. Wow. Usually Phoebe on auto is a little bit smarter than that.
Well, no, I mean, Phoebe just got the first turn advantage, so Phoebe said, hey, I'm going to go just cast a spell here.
Oh, man. Wildham had a really, really good set of RNG there. I don't think Pazuzu used Petrify even once.
Yeah, I don't think so. They were just there just having some fun, and the two of them just relaxing and having a good chill time.
And unfortunately, nothing for High Spirits effort. There is Zip on the mountain.
And it's tree time. Ooh, this is gonna give Wildham the time to get through. I don't know for certain. Maybe High Spirit's already been over here. He just hadn't climbed the tree. This is gonna give Wildham some time to go through that volcano, lava dome rather, and catch up now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did come in here earlier, but he did not have some of the crests, I guess.
And he had all the crests, but he checked his. He didn't want to climb with the Dragon Claw. He did the first floor sweep and exited. So I mean, you know, after that first floor, then all the density is starts to spread out. It's a long time between any of the follow-up chests. So I'm like, I can see that. And this Wildham's gonna come in. Wildham's gonna get those two, at least the chest here that's Mega Grenade locked.
Yeah.
Because I think Wildham will definitely go for it.
He might. It depends on if he feels like he's behind or not. Because if he feels like he's behind, he might rush Lava Dome here. That's
true. That's definitely a possibility. As I said, at the very least, I think he can, like, even if he chooses not to get the not to get that, like go directly for it and say I'm just gonna go walk down and hit the switch. On the follow pass, he can at least take a look and see, hey, Mega Grenade is blocking a big chest. Do I want to grab that?
Yeah. Because it looks like he's skipping it and going right for dual head. And
Yeah.
to answer that other question, I believe Moonhelm was not in the mines. I think it was somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't man, I remember seeing Moonhelm. I'm just not sure where. Now I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, with only the Gaia armor and the Cupid locket, Wildham is pretty subject to quite a few nasty things from Dark King. He might try a couple of experience battlefields to kind of try to make up for that at least. Because by the time he finishes Lava Dome, I want to say you'll be lucky if he actually gets to level 18.
There's enough. I don't remember how many encounters were in the way. I feel like that High Spirits had a few that you had to go through. 17, 18. Yeah, I think that's probably about where you're gonna come out. I think you'll get to 18.
I think he'll get to 18 before he heads into Doom Castle for sure, because he does still have to go through Max Ship. But
yeah.
But this is gonna be an interesting one, folks, because with the Spirits is already at level 20, which means he can survive the Spider Kids. The only thing Spirits cannot survive right now are the shock attacks. This tree has been pretty bare, empty as well.
Yeah, it's completely barren. I don't remember if Spirits had checked previously to see had peaked. Okay, it didn't peak, but there was nothing behind Gidra.
Yeah,
that was a good gamble on Spirits' part to say I'm not going to bother with that. And there's nothing here.
There is literally nothing in this stupid tree.
Well, Spirits now knows there's literally nothing else. The tree wither has to be the play.
Yep. So
now, how are you feeling? What's that?
How does that exit thing work? Because this is actually my first time seeing it.
The gist of it, as far as I know, and again, I'm sure someone in chat will know officially, but basically if you exit on the overworld, it dumps you back where... I don't know if that's vanilla or if that's randomizer specific, but if you exit on the overworld, it will take you back on the starting tile, basically, where you start the game. So it's a much faster way of getting back here than walking all the way back. Okay. Hebbing's saying it's a soft lock prevention.
Dang. Yeah,
which actually makes sense. I'd thought about that recently. I said, I had said to myself at some point recently, I was like, well, what happens if you walk into, get the Mega Grenade room, and then you exit out there and you don't have River Coin? Or the any key. So that makes perfect sense. That's a great way to get back to this area without having to take the minute or two to walk back if you have exit.
That is really good to know. I was unaware of that one as well. Those of us who teach also don't read any more than our students do, so...
Honestly, I didn't know about it until I happened to watch one or two of the qualifiers. I decided to watch one or two of the qualifier runs that I didn't get to play in just to see how they played. And surprise, they were able to get it. And there we go. We got the Mega Grenades now. So High Spirits is also now in go mode. The question will be going without Flare, going without the Aegis Shield.
Well, there is still some hope to pick up a couple of chests in Max Ship. So I imagine if he sees a red chest on the left or the right-hand side as he's going down to save Captain Mac, he will probably beeline and go grab him.
Yeah,
Just for the
that's a good
safety.
point. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want that. You want that safety if you can. Just I have to say, just looking at this, the no petrification resistance is terrifying. Would be terrifying me right now, trying to decide. Can I survive the Dark King?
Yeah, and at the levels that we're at, we cannot outspeed the Dark King.
Nope, never. We're not seeing any red chests yet, though.
No, unfortunately not. There are a couple that are kind of buried in the back of Mac's ship, but it's a matter of how much Spirits wants to go look for them. I will say there is that small, minute chance that he could pick up something on the way up the stairs to Dark King as well.
That's
As
true. There are
Steven
always
also
those
said.
6. Yeah. That's a good point.
As long as it isn't something that is required to get into Doom Castle as a go mode item, it can be in there.
All right, looks like High Spirits is saying I need to push right now. So High Spirits is gonna be hoping for nothing else there, and we got some good music at least.
Yeah, Spirits pretty much is hundoed this seed because the only item he really didn't go back for was whatever Ruben's dad had, as well as whatever is behind the Mega Grenade here in the Volcano.
Agreed. I'm just curious to see. Yep, okay, and Wildham's not going for either.
Yeah, after his unfortunate tech issues, Wildham probably feels really behind. And unfortunately, there is no red chest on the way up here.
I mean, this is, it's going to take Wildham a couple minutes to get through, but one Dark King wipe for High Spirits, and it's going to be a really close match here.
Yeah.
Like, that's about the difference we're looking at here. One late game fight there. Oh, and Wildham is actually taking a couple of fights. Looks like Wildham's not content at 18.
Honestly, I can't say I blame him. Going in at 18 is terrifying. I saw you do that the other day, and I was just, wow, that was risky.
I think I had a full loadout, though, at that point. Like, I had every equipment needed, so at that point, it was I'm probably in trouble. But at least if I die, it's not an end of the, it was just one of those risks I felt like at the time I had to take.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's definitely different here, I feel like, with a lot less of that equipment.
So first phase is relatively safe. There really is only one attack that Dark King can do, which will do about 500 to 600 damage. Phase 2 starts to get pretty dicey, although, again, the only thing that can one-shot Spirits at this point is going to be the shock attack. And then
Phase 2 is all damage.
Yeah. And then when we get to Phase 3 and Phase 4, they will have the same attacks. And the only thing, since Spirits is level 20, the only things that can kill Spirits is, again, the shock attack, because he does have the fire resistance, and he is at a high enough level that Spider Kids cannot one-shot him.
And then there's the
golden
webs. The
Yeah.
webs that we don't want to mention, but that exist.
The golden webs are going to be really, really dangerous here.
Wildham is chest hunting here, it looks like. By the way, Wildham fell down, and I think that was voluntary.
Oh, yeah, then he's probably looking for Aegis Shield or Flare or Moonhelm, which unfortunately we know he's not going to find here.
So far, clean fight by High Spirits, though, I have to say.
Yeah, when you're at this level and you can't you can't cure the Dark King to death, you really have to play defensively. And the auto for your partners is really nice when you're doing defensive strats. So the way that auto works with killing stuff is that if Ben KOs, you will automatically be brought back to life, as long as, of course, your partner has the charges for it. And if you have Kaylee or Phoebe, they will do cure spells if either one of you is at half health or lower.
That just makes the fight like a way to guarantee damage. Like for example, here, Benjamin had the white spell queued up, and then died, but Phoebe acted first, so brought Benjamin back to life, and then Benjamin still got his turn to cast white.
I love the Lotto sprite leaves the helmet behind when he dies.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, pretty much all the glitches have been patched out in the rando. As we were saying, as we were saying earlier, the only one that still works is the item dupe. So you can't underflow, overflow, whatever it's supposed to be for your item inventory, and you cannot, unfortunately, cure the Dark King.
No. Yeah, that was just a real. High Spirits is handling this fight really well, but that just ended up being a really bad timed phase transition there, and bad RNG to have the Golden Web come out right when it did there, because that lovely Dark King attack there could have been any other attack, and then Phoebe would have been okay and lifed up Benjamin, or Phoebe could have actually gotten the first turn for once in her life. Not that I'm bitter.
Phoebe only gets the first turn when you don't want her to get the first turn. Let's
be
honest.
It's true. But yeah, High Spirits I think would have been fine there if Benjamin had been alive at the phase transition. It was just really bad luck there. But now this is anyone's game. We got Wildham going in at the same level even. So now at this point, any death is going to swap leads.
He is going in at the same level. However, he does not have the fire resistance that Spirits has.
So I think you're right, yeah.
That is the only thing that Spirits has over Wildham right now. But Mystic Quest RNG will always be Mystic Quest RNG. So, y'all, we got a race going on. Did he pick up the Apollo helmet?
It's very possible. Okay, he may have. I may have missed that one. Of course, I can't check into the inventory there, but... Got in dome, okay. I will for now. Oops, we'll put the Maker Grenade back on. We will assume that that's there for now. Thank you for catching that there.
I mean, hey, if this is a completely even race, then it all comes down to RNG.
Yeah, High Spirits with a slight lead here, but this is again truly coming down to this RNG. Who will happen to get lucky here?
Oh my goodness. It depends on the flag set that you have. So this particular set of flags is a rather mean one because it doesn't randomize the Dark King at all, and he's anywhere from 100 to 150% health per phase. There are other flag sets that you can do which make him potentially a lot nicer to fight.
Yeah, there's some Enemizer flag sets that'll move all of the attacks around. So you could see the Dark King throw a boomerang at you or something like that, which, therefore is much nicer. Things like that. But yeah, this is definitely a flag set that is rough, having to basically play this game, like it's actually vanilla. Now that's an annoying attack by the Dark King there. Just enough damage to Phoebe to be just over halfway on health. Basically, most attacks wouldn't kill Phoebe there, but just over halfway, so auto won't help cast Cure. All right, much better shape for High Spirits here, entering into phase 3 now.
Oh, now is where it gets really scary.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's
start.
Good aim there. You if that web, any of those webs come, usually you want those to hit Benjamin.
At least if he has the Cupid locket on, anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you,
Ooh, 1 HP in a dream.
I guess you were right about that level 20 there.
Yeah, depending on the armor that you have will depend on how much Spider Kids does, but it's usually at least enough to leave you with some HP. Although I usually see it at like 20 HP or 5 HP, so having it be only 1 HP is interesting, I guess.
I mean, all you need is 1 on this fight for all intents and purposes. Anything for Benjamin that's not 800 is I die next turn.
Yeah.
So you take it. And we get the Super Mega Grenade that actually damages both of them a lot. Oh, that was great timing there by High Spirits.
That
Beautiful.
Same life save that you had the other day.
Only difference there is the fact that High Spirits was smart enough to have Phoebe defend Benjamin, so that way the gold web was guaranteed onto Phoebe, and it worked. I think the other day when I did it, it landed randomly. It just worked out for me. That was great play by High Spirits there.
And we're on Facebook, folks, so...
Yep. Fun fact, there is apparently no change in AI between 3 and 4. So it will be still that same set of spells coming in.
And Wildham on phase 3 also getting really lucky with a silver web on Ben rather than Phoebe.
Phoebe back at full health, Benjamin. Now, a lot of times the question here is, when do you say, okay, I'm willing to... Ooh, no.
Oh, this is scary now.
Like what you start saying to yourself, when do I say, okay, I think I can get the kill. Do I just double attack? Do I... Oh, that was a great defend there.
He also got really lucky that Phoebe came out of the confusion instantly there.
Yeah, that absolutely helped. I think that was a defense there, too.
Ooh. Oh, no! Oh, this is Ham's game to lose now.
Yep, Ham has jumped into the lead here. Oh, but Phoebe's just went down. With a poison tick.
No, we're good. White will not do enough damage.
Yeah. Okay, phew.
Oh,
I think as you were saying there, I think the only thing that would have really... Oh, maybe not. Let's see. And yes, they were right. Thank you, Hebbings, for pointing out the Apollo home there, because Benjamin was strong against the fire there, so definitely had the Apollo home on. Looks like Wildham's going with the defend Phoebe and alternate attacks and heals with her. Which is definitely a good strategy.
Yeah.
No, I mean... It means that she's not getting webbed in any method here. So, it's a safe strategy. It comes down to... it's one of those slow but steady wins the race things with the turtle. You are technically gonna, you're gonna get 1 attack off every 2 full rounds, as opposed to probably something closer to 1 attack per round. But you don't have to scramble to defend yourself here.
Yeah.
As long as we don't get... Okay, I'm not jinxing. I'm not saying a word. Okay. Good. I was about to just clarify that as long as you don't get the same attack twice in a row. But fortunately, that did not turn out to be the case here.
Hey, I'll take anticlimactic if it gets me through this fight in one piece.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to be able to, again, it comes down to, again, you have to kill this boss in order to be able to win. How do you do it? Do you, even if it's anticlimactic, or or uncle climactic, depending on how you feel like it. Oh! And just like that, back to High Spirits here. Wow, this is... Folks, welcome to Mystic Quest I'm Randomizer. Mystic Quest Random Numbers.
Yeah, essentially.
This is how evil this game is. At any point, you can get a turnaround from one side to the other, just based on what the RNG feels like doing and what attack the enemy throws at you.
The only saving grace I think in this set of flags is that we don't have to go through all of Doom Castle and fight Zoo.
True. That would add a lot more, even more, to this evil. Although it would make this fight actually safer, because with all the fights you'd have to do on the way through the Dark Castle, you would get enough experience to get at least a couple more levels, typically. But actually, even though you have to deal with the RNG there, Zoo RNG, I can't talk. Once you're done with the animals, then you're going to, have this lovely fight that you're going to deal with, but you'll have more levels, so you probably can survive spiders and almost everything else. Make it a little bit easier, maybe. Oh, this is a good one, though. Okay, so we are now off to Spider Phase 3 here.
Oh. This is wild, y'all. This is why Dark King is the great equalizer, especially when our runners are this close.
Yeah. As we said, both of these two runners, again, 6 seed and 11 seed, but pretty much those are essentially equal seeds with the luck of this game easily enough. So I think it's almost a 50-50 as to which one can win, and this is proving it right here.
Yeah, so Spirits did get to Phase 4, and he was probably only a couple of attacks away, honestly.
Yeah. It's so tough because it's like, especially when you get to Phase 4, with the way the attacks that are coming, it's like, do you just try to push through and win? Do you take that risk? When do you think you have like 2,000 health left where if we both attack, we win? But you can't, it's a risk to do that because as soon as you do that, well, you're dead. If you're wrong. So it's going to be tough to see. I wonder if anyone will start getting desperate there near the end. I mean, they're probably both very nervously glancing over at the race room as they're going, saying, okay, are they done yet?
Yeah.
Is this pain over? I mean...
like, if I ended up with one of these super duper RNG Dark Kings, I get frustrated after a few tries from practicing, and I just, I'm done.
Not gonna lie, that I do that quite a bit too sometimes. All right,
we're back on Phase 4.
Okay, that's good. Scary when you go into a transition with Benjamin still alive here. So you're taking the safety. Let's heal everyone strat. That works. Now you've got everyone back at full health. This is good.
Yeah,
this is tense, folks.
Wildham struggle busing on Phase 3. Oh, man. Dark King is really...
774. Wow.
Really being a massive jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wildham got confused.
Oh. Oh, that poison tick was just enough that the spider got the kill.
Oh, GG, Spirits.
Good game, Spirits there. Wow, great fight there. All right, with an official time there of 122.41. Wow.
That was a hard-fought win.
Absolutely. There's certain fights that just can be tough, in this game. And the end, of course, the problems with this game is all at the end. But High Spirits knew what to do there. And, you know, even with some of those RNG trolls, was able to come through and take care of everything.
He's got to be happy with that, though. He's got to be
Absolutely.
relieved at the very least.
Absolutely. So that puts, again, that's going to put High Spirits up 1-0. This is best of 3. And speaking of lovely dings there, I think we have heard that we have our Victor entering chat. High Spirits, GG.
Yeah, big GG on that one.
Thank you very much. Those mega grenades were rude.
You got a little unlucky on that, so Wildham did a lot of back and forth and ended up in the forest area with the tree wither before you did, so...
Yeah, because I cleared everything. The tree wither was my last location. So I was like, this had to lead to Elixir, and that Elixir had to lead to something good.
Well, pretty much everything else you could have checked would have been behind the mega grenades anyway, so...
Yeah, I know there was one chest in Lava Dome I'm pretty sure was mega grenade locked, and then, yeah. The ship is the only other thing I didn't look at because I didn't have the grenades for it.
Yeah, that and the mine saw Ruben's dad, I think, was the only other thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at that point you checked everything. Which was still pretty impressive to get to the Dark King when you did, having checked pretty much the entire game, you know, to find the mega grenades. That was awesome.
Yeah, the seed went by really smooth and fast. You know, like I was already, what, like 3 crystals down, like 40 minutes in or something, so... Like, the seed was moving fast. At that point, it was just like, okay, keep doing the important dungeons and see if we find the grenades. If not, then we clean up, and then the cleanup happened.
So, thoughts on your RNG on that last fight there?
You know, that 3 attempts is okay, I guess, without having the shield. The second attempt, I felt like I could have won. It's just, I think the last phase ended up drawing just a little bit too much health, because I did a lot of damage to it, but... Like, the third try, I got it, so...
Yeah, I figured you were probably only a couple of attacks away in that second attempt there.
Yeah, probably 1 or 2 at most, I feel like, because I did a lot of damage, and the last phase usually doesn't have a lot of health.
Oh man, that was definitely a seed, and I think I saw you have one earlier in practice that was like this too, where you kind of cleared everything out looking for the mega grenades.
So you'll notice I went to Spencer's place very early on. So I had 2 practice seeds this morning, and Spencer both times had important key items. So, like, I had exit, I was there near Spencer's, I'm like, I'm not missing out this time. And it got me the Venus shield, I think, so it got me something.
My favorite is when Spencer has the Thunder Rock. I always love that one.
Yeah, so, yeah, I did the long way to Spencer because we didn't have the mega grenades. But yeah, those seeds this morning influenced me to go to Spencer very early on.
You dipped into Windia a lot sooner than Ham did, so you found the exit spell a lot sooner than Ham did.
Oh, I always have a thought, if I can get to Windia, as soon as I can get there, I go. Just because there's so many checks that you can do around Windia and in Windia for items that it's plus, you know, if you've had Phoebe already, then you get a bonus Phoebe.
True enough. Poor Ham back on phase 3, and hopefully better luck this time. Ham did not find the Aegis Shield either, so unfortunately he also does not have the Petrify resistance.
Yeah, best guess was it's either Ruben's dad had it or it was in that locked chest in Lava Dome. The mega grenade locked chest.
It's gotta be in one of those 2 places. The flare spell nobody had either, so...
Yeah, the flare was probably the other check.
I guess you pretty much did find everything else, didn't you?
Yeah, I 100% cleared it outside of the mega grenade checks.
Ham checked around the ship a little bit, both to gain levels and to see if he could find a red chest somewhere on the ship. So
I thought about that, but I'm like, you know, it takes a long time to loop this chest. There's only like two or three chests that are really easy to check. So I'm just gonna bank that. Maybe it's in Focus Tower waiting for me. I have had seeds where Aegis Shield has been waiting for me in Focus Tower. So.
oh my goodness. I have to give Ham some credit, though, to continue on with this, because if I had seen my opponent win and I had been having this RNG, I would have rage quit.
Yes, ended up being very close at the end. You got about you were about probably midway through, you were probably just entering phase 2 of your second fight on Dark King when Ham got to the Dark King, so there were definitely a couple of wipes by both of you that led to a couple of lead changes there, so it's definitely been a really exciting, end here.
Good old Dark King.
Yeah,
I felt good until that second wipe, like on the phase 4. That's where I started to like sweat a little bit.
Well, I have to say, when I saw Ham pick up those grenades, I was wondering just how close this would be.
Yeah, Ham went back to do Bone Dungeon for the second dungeon, and then went down to do Phoebe at the same time, or to turn the Tree Wither at the same time. Ham had gotten the Tree Wither, before you did. So we were just wondering, if that would turn out to be anything. And when that turned out to be the Mega Grenades, all of a sudden Ham was pretty much sprinting into go mode there to try to catch up. It was one crystal behind you, so two of you finished Pazuzu's tower near the same time, but Ham had to go run back to clear Volcano while you were doing the rest of the overworld clears to find out where that was.
Ah, okay. Yeah, if those Mega Grenades were as rude as they were, that would have been much faster seed for me. But yeah, it sounds like it was close. That's what matters.
Oh, absolutely.
I do like that they put my picture up there for my webcam. Nice little Drogon Lord sitting there on SGL right now.
Gotta have a little bit of Dragon Warrior in there.
I chose the Roto sprite, so that counts for something, right?
It does. Alright, Ham on phase 4. He's got this. I really, really want him to have this. Dark King is being a massive jerk with these webs, though.
No, not silver.
Oh, stop it!
Oh.
This might be a forfeit for Ham at this point.
Yep, that's the Ham forfeited there after that wipe there. Great game though by Ham there.
Yeah.
That was a massive fight, just trying to push through that there.
Yeah, he really, really put up a good fight with this seed.
So interesting how one little item in different places can change things around. Ham having that seeming to be a little bit behind, grabs that, sprinting to make the comeback there, got himself into the lead during the fight there. But painful there. But Ham, great race there, GG.
GG, thank you.
Yeah, you really fought hard, and I'm so sorry you did not get to finish that fight. That was terrible RNG.
Yeah, golden web and silver web. It's just terrible. I mean, I think in my second fight I managed to survive through one of these combos, but usually that's it for the fight.
So it was interesting because you picked up the Mega Grenades way before Spirits did, and we were really wondering what was going to happen in terms of the closeness of this race. And as Fred was telling High Spirits, y'all went back and forth on those Dark King fights a couple of times.
The Mega Grenade was where the moment I regained some hope after I waffled a bit at the beginning. But yeah, I guess I missed the sun coin on my first visit to Fireberg, and so that felt a bit bad to find it after that, because I could have had it way earlier and got my FB2 and yeah, but turns out having it a bit later mean that I could turn in the 3-wither just before, and that worked out there.
Yeah, that was nice because since you had to return for the bone dungeon anyway, which he had already done, you were able to go check all of that at the same time.
Yeah, you were able to get that there right at the, right when you did the Crystal 2, you were able to go down and get Kaylee, bring her home, and get the mega grenades. High Spirits pretty much ended up last locating. I think pretty much, I don't think there were any chests left at all for High Spirits when he went back for Tree Wither, so you were able to gain a little bit of time there, and so you ended up only a small amount behind, entering the final fight there, so. And then it was definitely back and forth. You had the lead at 1 or 2 points there. High Spirits had the lead at a couple of points during that fight. Just kept jumping back and forth. So it was a really entertaining race. Thank you to both of you for that, because it was a lot of fun to watch.
Also, y'all can blame Fred for the fact that Kaylee had the elixir.
Thanks, Fred.
That was cute.
That was 30 minutes before. I didn't call it. It wasn't like Kaylee's going to have the elixir thing at like the 40-minute mark or whatever when you were checking it. It was truly, I mentioned it at the start, like 10 minutes in or something when we were talking about things.
If
So
it's still commentary before it actually happened, it counts.
You can't clip it. It's not really a commentator curse if you can't clip it, right? I mean, if you need multiple clips, it doesn't count.
There's always a VOD. We will find the truth.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's no
yeah,
evidence.
GG on the race, Wildham.
Yeah, GG, and yeah, so yeah, we have the next race tomorrow, so maybe I'll be able to win the next one. We'll see.
Hopefully a nicer Dark King for us.
Yeah.
Y'all
Or
are
at least
very
an
close.
Aegis Shield. I'll take an Aegis Shield. Forget it. I don't need a nice Dark King. Just give me an Aegis Shield.
Any last thoughts from either of you guys?
Well, this was my first race, but it's with the Campfire, it's been fun so far, and I really want to thank Shanigan and Ebbings for running this. It's a lot of work, so yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun so far. I've done this randomizer a handful of times, but like last Saturday, I just woke up and I'm like, there's 2 qualifiers left. I may as well just sign up and join the tournament. did a practice scene. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the tournament. So excited to see if I can move on from this.
It'll be a lot of fun to see. I mean, seeing both of you here. Definitely different levels of experience with this, but I've seen both of you here, and you're both very well qualified with this. So this is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing tomorrow night the fun action there.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Fred, for taking care of most of that tracking for me. I want to thank Speedgaming, of course, for hosting us. T-Bings for all of the organization. GG to our runners, of course. Fred, any last thoughts for the night?
Just thank you again. Make sure you follow the runners, folks who are doing this. They put on some great shows here, and these are both incredibly entertaining people who, again, definitely highly recommend following them. Also, highly recommend following as well my lovely co-commentator here, the RPG chick, who always phenomenal to watch do any types of runs there, whether it's some randomizers, whether it's lots of other vanilla RPGs, and that's pretty much the primary content on your channel for some strange reason. I can't imagine why, but
No, I don't know why. There's no real reason for that. Also, definitely go follow Fred, because Fred is extremely mega interesting, runs a million randomizers, and is good at all of them.
You're too kind, but and absolutely, as I said, again, thank you to the whole team who have been running this tournament behind the scenes. It's actually been a really fun, well-run tournament, and looking forward to more of this exciting action here over the next few weeks.
All right. In that case, I will take us out and say thank you again, everybody. Y'all have a fantastic evening. I believe we do have another Mystic Quest randomizer one going on another one of the Speedgaming channels. Which one is it?
Speedgaming 2.
It is on Speedgaming 2, which I believe is probably still going on between Zardia and Chanigan. So if you want to see another race going on, please head on over there, and there'll be more, of course, throughout the next couple of weeks. Y'all have a fantastic evening.
Take care.